Hi everyone, my name is Chloe Brandon and I decided to do a hands-on project with my organization, Frito-Lay, and I chose the ShoulderX. For some background information, I am a logistics manager in the transportation department at Frito-Lay, and us management, we have noticed that there have been several shoulder injuries within the last year. For example, in 2020, we had 4 shoulder surgeries alone. These injuries affect our yearly budget, and shoulder injuries have been the most common injury among our organization, back injuries being second. When I was doing research for this project, I noticed that shoulder injuries are very common amongst truck drivers, and shoulder injuries are caused by repetitive activities and overexertion. And with the articles that I found, they have stated that there's very limited research on this topic. There are a lot of there's a lot of information out there regarding shoulder related injuries in other professions, but not specifically truck drivers. So with that, it was a little frustrating to compare data, but I did find some similarities in literature, and repetitive activities and overexertion seems that it was the most common issue as far as shoulder injuries are concerned. Here are some Frito-Lay scorecards, and if you look in the activity column, you can see that loading and unloading are the two most common activities that cause shoulder injuries in truck drivers. And if you look at the date columns, you can see that these injuries are happening very, very often, and that's something that we are wanting to prevent. We have come up with the solution, the ShoulderX. Don, our safety manager, thought of this solution. He ordered one and we had not tested it yet, so I thought it would be a perfect opportunity to start a project and collect data and see if it has an improvement on shoulder injuries with our truck drivers. It assists in heavy shoulder activities, and we want it to specifically help with loading and unloading. As you saw in the scorecard, that is the activity that's causing shoulder injury the most. What we did, or what I did, is I took a control group consisting of 3 drivers. My first driver has had 2 shoulder surgeries and has been with Frito-Lay for 16 years. My second driver has mild shoulder pain every now and then, and he has been with the company for 12 years. And then my third driver has had no shoulder injuries or pain and has been with the company for 5 years. And I asked them interview questions. They tested the product 4 times a piece and had them give me their thoughts and opinions on the solution, the product. And the ShoulderX claims it takes 1 minute to take on and off. This is partially true. The drivers stated that it was a little bit of a struggle at first, but as they practiced more, they got better at it. They stated that it's not necessarily 1 minute. It takes a few to get it adjusted the way that it feels right. And then it does not require batteries, which is a plus for us. We don't have to have that additional cost of batteries to work the exoskeleton. It weighs 7 pounds, and our driver said that it was not heavy at all. It is true to weight, and it can endure harsh environments. In conclusion, our 3 drivers that have tested the project did notice a significant difference when using the exoskeleton. All 3 of them stated that they did see a difference um, or did feel a difference in their shoulders when they were loading and unloading product. They stated that they weren't as fatigued and as worn out when they were done with their run. They did state that it cannot be worn while driving. As you saw in the previous photo, there is a metal rod that goes down the back, and one driver did try to use it while driving, and he stated that it did not work out and it was very uncomfortable. The suit costs $5,000, and that is a, it's pretty expensive. And so therefore we cannot provide a shoulder X for every driver, as we have over a hundred employees within the traffic center. So due to this, we have decided that we would most likely share, or we would buy enough shoulder X's that cater to employees that have had pre-existing and existing shoulder injuries. So far, this can only be used with warehouse drivers. So with warehouse drivers, their loads are dead stacked, which means the cases are top to bottom, stacked on top of each other. And then with direct to store runs, they are on carts to be rolled out. So with direct to store runs, you have roughly 6 to 9 stops. And my third driver, he does a lot of the direct to store runs, and he stated that it was very tedious to have to keep putting on and taking off the shoulder X. So he recommends that this only be used with warehouse drivers. And my first driver, he really only does warehouse runs, and he stated that he also agrees that it should only be used in warehouse purposes and not direct to store runs. And we believe that this equipment will reduce yearly shoulder injuries, as our drivers gave really positive feedback. They recommended that other drivers try it out, because they also think that they will see a difference. And although the cost is high, we think that we know that the cost of shoulder injuries is higher and detrimentally affecting our budget. We drastically went over our budget last year, and we need to find a solution, and we think that this is it. Thank you so much.